Hey guys, this is Superstar0717. Hope all of you guys this week are going pretty good. Mine's going alright. So as you know, Dark Ascension, or DKA, is going to be coming out soon. I believe the pre-release is on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. 28th or 29th. And with that being said, we're getting a whole bunch of new cards to add to our standard format. So with that being said, if you guys have been a watcher, a subscriber of my channel, you'll notice that I am building a werewolf deck. I have been with the deck for since, I guess, last semester when Innistrad came out. I thought the deck concept seemed really cool, but we didn't get too much support. And with that being said, I still think the deck performed pretty well. Got multiple top 2s in my FNM, things like that. But with that being said, we do have a new number of cards. Now, I'm not going to compare these cards to any of the other cards in the set. I don't think that's a good way to look at it yet. But for now, I'm just going to talk about the cards, just the creatures that are wolves, werewolves. There are some pretty decent wolves, but I'll talk about those in another video. I'm going to talk about these cards, how I think they fit into the deck, what I would recommend you do if you want to pre-order them, and then we can just go from there. So the first card we're going to look at is Huntmaster of the Fells. It's a creature human werewolf with a CMC of 4 on the human side. It costs 2 colorless mana, 1 red mana, and 1 green mana. He has an effect that states, whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Falls, put a 2/2 green wolf token onto the field and you gain 2 life. Now, this card is pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's broken, and I wouldn't say it's like really good. I would definitely probably run it. See, the thing is, I don't like that he's 4 CMC for a 2/2. Sure, he gives you the 2/2 green wolf token and 2 life, but the 2 life is really kind of irrelevant if you think about it, and the 2/2 is pretty nice. But at 2/2, the main reason you want to use him is so he flips into the 4/4 with trample, and another effect we'll just talk about in a second. But as soon as he comes out, there's just so many cards in the current meta that can just, like Galvanic Blast can, for 1 red mana, they can tap and then blow up your creature. And all you have is a 2/2 green wolf token, which is still decent. It replaces himself because it is a 2-for-1. But I would rather have the 4/4. And with 4 mana, I mean, you're going to want to cast him as soon as you get the red, the green, and the 2 colorless and bring him out. So you have this 2/2, gets you the +1 as soon as it's summoned, and then it just gets one-shotted by so many things in the format. With that being said, if they don't one-shot it, you get the +1 off of the summon, and whenever they choose not to cast or whenever they run out of things to cast, he flips over to a 4/4 that has trample, and his effect says, whenever this creature transforms into Ravager of the Fells, so whenever it flips from human to wolf, it deals 2 damage to target opponent, 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. Now, this is an excellent ability. 2 damage is really relevant to your opponent. 2 life isn't like that great in this deck because, I mean, there's not really any effects that are based on life. There's some decks that have certain effects. There's a new card that came out where if your life is 10 points total, then your starting life total, things like that. The 2 life is good, but it's not really huge. But dealing 2 damage to a creature and to a player is ridiculous. That is just so good. There's so many things in the format that are 2 damage and under, including other Huntmaster of the Fells. It'd be awesome to get rid of. Now, with that being said, Huntmaster of the Fells is a good card, but I don't think it's a great card. Right now, its pre-order price is going for $15 to $18. I honestly don't think it's that great to warrant that much of a, to be worth that much. So if I were you, I'd hold off on this. Don't quote me on that, but I honestly wouldn't feel comfortable paying more than $8 for this card, to be completely honest, $8 or $9. So I would hold off on it. He's a good card, but he's not a great card. I would say right now, if I made a deck and I wanted to spend the $15 on him, I would probably run 1 or 2 max. So that's my thought on that one. And the next card we're going to talk about is Immerwolf. Now, Immerwolf is a 3 CMC wolf, just a wolf, and his casting cost is 1 colorless, 1 red, and 1 green. Now, Immerwolf is an interesting card. I actually really, really like Immerwolf. He has his first ability is Intimidate, which is good. I mean, it's not like a horrible ability, but you're not obviously interested in Immerwolf for his first ability. I mean, this card is just so good. I can't even, like, it just makes me, like, smile how good this card is. Its other ability, so it has 3 abilities. Its other ability, other wolf and werewolf creatures you control gain +1/+1. And so the interesting thing about Emerwolf is that he is powered up by Mayor of Avabruck on the flip side, which I like that a lot, because then he's like a 3/3, and then if you have another Emerwolf, he's like a 4/4. And that card is just so good. And the last effect, which I think is absolutely awesome, is non-human werewolves you control can't transform. So let me just grab a magic card real quick, one of the wolves. On the flip side, if you look, they're titled Creature Werewolves. So that being said, non-human, which a creature werewolf is a non-human werewolf, can't transform. So no matter what you do, what your opponent does, they have to get rid of Emerwolf, which is going to be boosted by all these crazy like stats and whatever. They're going to have to get rid of Emerwolf, and then have to have casted 2 spells on that turn to flip your wolves, or they're going to have to wait. With that being said, Emerwolf is just such a good card. Like I really cannot wait for this card to come out and be legal for play. I wouldn't go so far to say as it's a 4 of, but it is a strong contender for a 3 of in the deck, in my opinion. It is just such a good card. Definitely 2. I would feel very comfortable running 3, and I'd probably have to test with it more, but I'm pretty sure eventually I'd bring it up to 4 and cut some other cards. I don't know exactly what I'd cut right now. I'm still working on the deck list for last format, and I think I got it pretty ironed out. It's the one I think I posted a couple weeks ago with the triple birds. But obviously everything's going to change with that, with this set. But I would definitely run at least 2. And right now I think he's selling for like 79 cents. Are you kidding me? It's such a great price. Buy 4 of them while they're on pre-order before the deck becomes big. So the next card that I thought was interesting, I wouldn't say it's a great card. It's called, but it is an interesting card. It's called Briarpack Alpha. Now, this card does a lot of different things. There's a lot of different cards that'll say give your opponent's creature -2/2 until the end of the turn, stuff like that. Now, with that being said, you could cast a Mayor, pass, and eventually when they come, like, whenever you have the Mayor and you're starting to pump tokens, they're obviously going to try to get rid of it with either, like, a burn spell or something like that. If they try to burn your Mayor or any of your other creatures like an Emerwolf, you could cast this. You can just, obviously you want to, eventually you're going to pass to flip everything, or, you just want to pass to activate his effect later on. When they try to do something, you flash it in there, get the +2/2 on that for the end of turn. It's a good card. You can also chump block with it. Has a 5/5. It's a great card. I'm not going to say I'm going to run this yet, but when I was going through the cards and looking at, and it plus it gets the Emerwolf support too because it is a wolf. I thought this card was interesting. Similar to Ambush Viper in my side deck, I think it has potential. We just got to figure out what that potential is. So Briarpack Alpha, definitely a strong maybe. So moving forward, we're going to stick with the green cards. Let me just check on that with my recording. Okay. So sticking with the green, we have a Hunger of the Howpack. It's a 1 green mana. It's an instant that lets you put +1/1 counter on target creature. Now, you might be saying that's not too great, and I kind of agree with you, but whenever you have Morbid, you put 3 +1/1 counters on this creature instead if a creature died this turn. So, your Mayor goes from being, this little wimpy creature, a 1/1 or a 3/3, to a 4/4 or a 6/6 that pumps up all your other creatures. Your Emerwolf gets a lot stronger as well. You can chump block with something, and then when they try to do a burn spell, activate Hunger of the Howpack, or, when they kill something, obviously, when they go to attack your Emerwolf, or when they go to attack you, you can chump block with the Emerwolf, activate this, get +3/3, and go from there. I think it's a great card. Also, I think this card has a lot of utility because the whole Undying mechanic revolves around not having +1/1 counters on you. So this will definitely be a very good card with the new cards that are coming up. It can be used offensively and defensively. And honestly, I'd be taking out some of my burn spells for this. I really like this card. It lets you go more aggro. For example, on the Kruin Outlaw, when you have it flipped, it's a double striker, obviously. And it flips, and it has, let me just go ahead, 3/3. And it's a double striker, so it deals 6. But when you have 3/3 plus a 3/3, it becomes a 6/6. And when you swing with a Instigator Gang, it gets another +3. And it has trample. And if you have, there's so many bonuses that just stack, and it's a double striker. This card can really, really, really come in handy. And they have to double block it. There's just so many awesome things that can be done with this card. I think its pre-order price is about 25 cents right now. Go ahead and pick it up. I think it's a great buy for 25 cents. Now, like I said, we're going to be switching out some of the burn spells for things like this. I definitely think that's a pretty good switch for the deck. Now, okay, sorry about that. My my browser was giving me that red swirly thing of doom. It's a Mac, and so I was doing too many things at once. I guess, I don't know, it just froze it. So, sorry about that. So, like I said, Hunger the Howlpack, definitely a great card. Lets you go more offensively, more aggro, I would say. Obviously, since it is a green, we're going to have to change with the mana base just a little bit because we are running a little bit more green now. But we can talk about that in a future video. And so the next card that I like, I don't know if I like it, but Scorn Villager. It's a 2 CMC, 1 colorless, 1 green. And its ability states, tap, add green to your mana pool. At the beginning of your upkeep, obviously traditional werewolf stuff. It's a 1/1. Now on the flip side, it's a 2/2 with vigilance, and it's tap, add double green to your mana pool. Now this is a very interesting card. I like the mana ramp. I think with this in the deck, it kind of almost replaces the need for birds, because birds is really there. I mean, it's good, but I think this card's a little bit better. With vigilance, you can attack with it. On the flip side, you can attack with it and then tap for 2 mana. To cast a multitude of things. I think it's just a good all-around card. With that being said, as of right now, I don't see it being a huge asset to the deck. I see it being more of a commodity. I think its pre-order price is also 25 cents. I'd go ahead and pick up 4 while we're here at 25 cents. Obviously, it's probably going to drop down. But I think it's a decent card. I think it doesn't hurt to have in the deck. But I don't think it's an absolute necessity. I still need to test everything. And the fact that it's a 2 CMC instead of a 1, a little bit hurtful. But like I said, it is decent. I'm not going to say it's not. But for my build and the style that we're trying to make with the deck that I'm doing, not so much for me. If it tapped and add green-red to your mana pool, definitely. But obviously, you can't really please everybody. So that's it for Scorn Villager. Like I said, it'd probably be a good card if you had it. But if you were trying to make the most competitive deck, I don't think it would necessarily be an absolute necessity. So the next card, we're still in green, is a card called Wolf-Bitten Captive. Now this card I absolutely love. It's going to be such an awesome card to play with. It's a 1 CMC, 1 green. And its effect is 1 colorless and 1 green. Wolf-Bitten Captive gets +2/2 until the end of turn. I like this card a lot. It's a little bit more reliable than Reckless Waif. And on the flip, its effect is like so awesome. It's a 2/2, which is a little bit weaker than Reckless Waif. But for 3 mana and a green, it gets +4/4 until the end of turn, so it becomes a 6/6. I think that's so cool. Just for 1, you can potentially bring out a 6/6, especially late game, because Waif, I mean, it's so good early game, but past turn 4, Waif is so useless. It's literally, I mean, it's a 1/1 for 1, and then it just gets gut shot or things like that. I guess this card can get gut shot too. Well, actually no, because you could just tap 1 colorless and 1 green, it becomes a 3/3. So okay, never mind. So this card has a little bit more utility late game. For my 1-drop slots, I'd probably run 3 Waif and 4 Wolf-Bitten Captive. Just because this card's a little bit stronger in my opinion, maybe even 2 and 4. But obviously that's stuff that needs to be tested against the current meta. But this card is a great card. I think it's pre-order price. Let me just pull up. I have a cart of what I was ordering. Its pre-order price is $249. That's not horrible. It's a lot better. When I pre-ordered my first set of Werewolves, I think I paid almost that much for Daybreak Ranger, and I hated Daybreak Ranger, and I can just see this card being folds better than Daybreak Ranger, and it's, the price is a little steep, but for $10 for a playset, I would definitely go with it. I mean, the game's a little bit expensive, and this card should warrant it. I mean, if you think about it, with Waif, you have to really rely on them not to cast a turn 1 spell for it to be effective. This one, as long as you can drop your second land, you can tap out and then hit them for 3/3 no matter what. So much utility in this card. Definitely a great card. Definitely can see it putting in some work in the format. So with that being said, we're on to the red cards. Now, I think I might have forgotten a Werewolf, because this list looks kind of short for the reds, but if I did, we'll go ahead and add that in later. And And mind you, these cards are in no order. I just went on the Magic website, open, tab, and then going through them. So the card we're talking about first is Afflicted Deserter. It's a 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and 1 red. And its effect states at the beginning of each upkeep. Oh, I guess it has no effect. So it's a 3/2 for 4. On the flip side, whenever this creature transforms into Werewolf Ransacker, you may destroy target artifact. If that artifact is put into the graveyard this way, Werewolf Ransacker deals 3 damage to that artifact's controller. I like it. It's alright. Like I said with Scorn Villager, it's not a huge necessity, but it's pretty decent. With that being said, I wouldn't run any copies right now. Artifacts are decent, but they're not like a huge... I mean, there are artifacts out there that are pretty good. I'll give you that. But I wouldn't run it like exclusively. That's what the sideboard's for. And at 4 CMC, and then you require the flip, it's just too unreliable for me. Which reminds me, I think I did forget one werewolf. Let me just go through. I think I did. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go back real quick since we're on. We're not too far deep into red. The werewolf card is called Lamholt Elder, and its flip side is Silverpelt Wolf. So it's a 3-drop, 2 colorless and 1 forest. For 1/2, but on the flip side, it's 4/5, which is awesome. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I like this card a lot. But, once again, at 2 toughness, it's really tough for me to invest 3 mana in. Not as hard for me to invest 3 mana in as the first card we're talking about, Huntmaster, but it's so iffy that I wouldn't run it, but it is decent. It's not a horrible card. I'd be happy to get it in a draft because I feel like it could put in some serious work. But with that being said, I think the slot in the deck is better suited for elsewhere. For other cards, excuse me. Okay, so back to the red. Sorry, I just had to make a quick detour into green. The card we're talking about is Hinterland Hermit. It's 2 CMC, 1 colorless, 1 red. And it is a vanilla monster on the front, and on the back it's a 3/2. And its effect says, it must be blocked if able. Now, once again, leading more into the aggro strategy, it is a good card. Not a great card. Once again, the 1 toughness really hurts it because Gutshot's out there. And with that being said, I honestly wouldn't run any copies in my deck. But once again, in a draft, I feel like it could do pretty good. 3/2 that has to be blocked is awesome. But that 1 toughness and that 2 toughness are just so... I don't like it. I don't like it. So yeah, with that being said, I wouldn't run that. I mean, the 2 toughness isn't as bad as you think, but the 1 toughness is really bad with Gutshot in the format. So yeah, just not for me. Okay, so the last card we're going to talk about right now is Mondrian Shaman, or Mondronian Shaman. It's a 4-drop, with the same problem as Huntmaster, the 2 toughness on the human side, but I think this card has a little bit better of an effect, in my opinion. On the human side, it's a normal monster, so no huge effects there. It's just a 3/2 for 4, which isn't terrible. I like the 3 instead of the 2/2 for 4, and it only requires 1 color, which I think is a little bit more stable for the deck. And on the flip side, its name is Tavaler's Mage Hunter, and its effect states whenever an opponent casts a spell, this card deals 2 damage to that player, and it's a 5/5. 5/5 is awesome. Can put in a lot of work with this deck with all the different bonuses that you have. But I absolutely love the fact that it deals 2 damage to that player that casts a spell. So if you think about it, a lot of players, whenever I play them, they save up 2 spells and then cast them. I mean, even if it's just like a random spell, just to flip your wolves. And so with that being said, you can force them to burn basically 4 life. It's pretty much comes out to 4 life to flip your wolves. Now, I like this card a lot late game because whenever you get down to 6 life and lower, or 10 life and lower, you'll have Moonmist in your hand with this card on the field in its human form. You can cast Moonmist and put them in a position where I'm at 10 life. Do I want to tap out, go down, lose 4 life? 4+ life, because they can still cast. It doesn't happen until the beginning of the next upkeep. Do I want to cast all these spells and basically put myself in kill shot range from just about any card in my burn spell arsenal? And that's going to be a huge card for you, at least. You know, with giving you the advantage, they'd have to think, is it really worth it to flip them? I know I'm going to, you know, and this card just puts in so much work. I'd probably run 2 of them, 2 max, for now. And I actually really like this card. I think this card has a lot of potential for the deck. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about the current cards right now. Sorry if this video was a little long. I wasn't trying to make it too long, but I think it might have been a little bit longer than I wanted it. But, oh well, there's a lot of information, so hope you guys all enjoyed that. Real quick, let me just tell you guys what I pre-ordered so that you guys can get an idea of what I think is good to buy. I mean, I'm not the most knowledgeable person in Magic, but obviously you guys are watching my channel for a reason. So if you guys want to know what I pre-ordered 4 Afflicted Deserter, 4 Briar Pack Alpha, 4 Hunger of the Howl Pack, and those are all 25 cents each, 4 Werewolf, which is a steal at 79 cents, 4 Lamphote Elder for 25 cents, 4 Mandronian Shaman for 99 cents, pretty good price. I'm not going to, like, I mean, it's $1, you know. For a great card like that, I definitely pay $1. 4 Scorned Villagers, and my favorite, 4 Wolf-Bitten Captive. That card is just sick, and those are $2.49 each. So total, it came out to $22.08, 99 cents shipping, $23 on Troll and Toad. There was some places that I usually order from that I actually like ordering from a lot more, but they didn't have the entire set pre-ordered for pre-order. And Troll and Toad does. I'll probably wait till tomorrow to place his order just in case my website's updates their inventory, just because they're like whatever, just because they're closer and the shipping's cheaper. But with that being said, that's what I think of the deck right now. I'm going to give you guys a sample deck list probably in a week when I can test everything, or whenever DK comes out, I'll give you guys a deck list like that day it comes out. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. I really appreciate it. I know I've been like telling you guys I've been doing this video forever, but school obviously takes, you know, a certain priority over Magic. So thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.